Hey folks, here we are today. Me and George, we are hauling water for the trees and for our horses. We have to haul water about once a week. We got a 275-gallon tank. This is the road to the windmill. You can see the windmill over there in the distance. We'll be there in just a minute. This is a rough old road to come get water, and we do it about once a week. Drive down in here with a trailer and a tank and get water for the trees. We water them, and then we come back and get another tank and hook it up to our horse trough. I've got a new system that I'm going to be hooking up on that today. I'll show you guys that a little later, and we'll be over at the windmill here in just a minute, so hang with us. We are here at the windmill. It's spinning and pumping water. Here's some rangy old horses that come up, wild horses. That one there looking at us right there is a stud horse. Little babies, they're all kind of thin. That's the conditions that right now on the Navajo reservation. There is water in the tank for them though, so that's good, but they just don't have anything to eat out here. We're in a drought, there's no grass. A lot of little horses out here that's going hungry right now. So anyway, me and George are gonna fill up our tank right there, 275-gallon tank, and go water some trees. So here we go. Get hooked up here and get some water flowing. There's George hooking up the hose to the tank. Hopefully there's enough water in there to fill up our tank. Old windmill's turning kind of slow today. Horses ain't much scared of us. The mares look the roughest. Huh? We dropped our nozzle there. There we go. Now we got water coming into our tank. Right over there you can usually see the Ute Mountain, but today it's all covered in smoke. There's a big fire at Durango. And smoke's drifting plumb out in there. So we're gonna fill up this water tank and go water some trees. So that's where we're headed next. Alright, so what we got here is we've got a food grade container, and we only got a half a container of water. The windmill wasn't turning. There's no breeze blowing today, so the windmill wasn't turning. We didn't get much water. And what I'm doing is I'm hooking it up with a 2-inch coupler down to a 3/4 inch. I gotta glue all this together, and then I'm gonna put a spigot on it like so that we can water these trees slower and the water's not running off. We can kind of control where we put it with a long hose. We got a hose up there. And then after that, once we get our water for our horses, I picked up this little float valve, and this little float valve, all these little parts, it bolts on the tank and shuts the water off. It's like I have to put the whole thing together, but it shuts the water off, and we can run this tank on it on a slow, just a slow drizzle, and it'll keep the horses watered filled up all the time. Sometimes we're gone all day, and we water about 3 times a day. We've just got a small tank, and this will keep it filled up, and we won't have to worry about our horses running out of water. So that's why I bought all this yesterday in town. Let's put all that together and make our lives a little bit simpler. Having water in the desert is key, so we're gonna make sure that our horses have access to fresh water all the time. So we're gonna get this hooked up, and we'll get some water on these trees. Well, folks, our little experiment with the garden hose did not work. We found out that our little check valve right here is actually cracked on the side, and it will not work. So we just had to water the trees this way, and it's not as good as with a garden hose. It runs off a lot and doesn't take and work as well. But at any point, we're getting water on the trees, and then we're gonna have to go find some water for the horses. We'll just have to keep watering them the way we have been. So all those parts I bought and all my well-laid plans didn't work. So that's the way it goes. Sometimes you win some, you lose some. So anyway, son, jump up there and let that check valve open. It's collapsing the sides. There's a cap on the top. We have to loosen it up. There we go. There it goes. So anyway, we're getting water on the trees, and that's what we set out to do. Get some water for the horses a little later, and we're gonna have to find some other way to water these animals. Maybe get a new tank. Thinking that might work pretty good. Use this one for storage and get another one to actually use for the horses, because the way it's set up right now, when we open the check valve, if it has any resistance power on it, you know, with the smaller line, or even when it's not running, that check valve right there leaks. So it's just it is what it is. So anyway, we'll just keep moving forward. That's all we can do. At least the trees got some water. There's a little bitty fruit on there. A little bitty peach right there. On there. There's some more right there. Little bitty peaches right there. So just got to keep them watered. That one over there died out. Got too hot while we were gone, running around. Nobody watered them, and that's what happens. But there's fruit on them, which is pretty cool. So we're gonna keep water on them once a week and see if they won't grow. If we don't get some rain here pretty soon, it's not gonna matter. Everything's gonna dry up and blow away, I think. So here we are 2 days later, getting our second tank of water. There's Georgia holding the hose there. The other day we only got a half of a tank. We're out here early today. It's about 8 o'clock, and we're out here early getting it. The wind blew really hard last night, so that tank should be full. This is a 275 gallon tank. So we're filling it up for the horses, and then we have a reserve tank. It's a 55 gallon drum. We fill that up also, anything we can bring with us. But this is our second load that we started 2 days ago. We had enough in the tank. We left enough in the tank to water the horses for a day and last night. So here we are back at the old windmill getting water. So if the wind don't blow, we don't have any water. So we'll take and get this back to the corrals. And